Well, what a difference a week can make. The boys are back, and I think we might be smiling because we got the chocolates over the donkeys. Warriors Anonymous, let's go.
This is Warriors Anonymous.
Ooh-wee! What a comeback that was. And I don't mean in the game, just like coming back from the week that was before, which a lot of people have said that they've forgotten about. I don't know if I'm quite ready to be able to do that, but I'm happy to try. Jared Cronin, Isaac Sauce, and Daniel Wharakura here to go and dissect a few things in regards to the Warriors' latest performance, but also one of the burning issues, really, before we even get into any chat about the game, is the recent sort of publicity, shall we say, the game has been facing. And not positive. The referees and the refereeing system and the bunker and everything is just kind of under the spotlight. You could see it. I could feel the cries of Warriors fans during Origin 2 when there was a tip tackle, and every Warriors fan was like that Leo DiCaprio meme. You're putting at the TV like and then no sin bin from it. And then also during the week as well, Wayne Bennett came out and he just launched into an absolute all-time spray on what is going on with the refereeing. And even old Sticky Ricky, he got in amongst it and just said that they're basically guessing with the six agains, which honestly, a lot of these things that these guys are saying makes a lot of sense. So let's get into it, boys. We'll start with you, Daniel. Bro, is the current refereeing system in the game, is it letting it down?
Oh, I believe so. I think there's some directives of the game around tidying it up and making it safer and eliminating some of the things that cause serious harm. So you've kind of got that directive. I totally understand it, that you want to stamp out some of those things. However, there is an element of, how would you say, penalising things because something bad could happen as well versus actually, the bad thing happening. But then there's another element that I've got is some of the refs are probably over officiating, and I've probably typed that word about 1,000 times as well. I just feel like sometimes some of the refs, mainly in the bunker, are just trying to find reasons to not give calls or to over officiate, really look too far into something as well. And look, the classic example I think would have been the obviously the tip tackle with Liam Martin. Ashley Klein, I think, got it right. I don't think it was a sin binnable offence, but obviously Casey Badger binned RTS. The other factor to that as well is I think some of the referees are playing a bit of Scrabble. What I mean by that is, different referees are spelling the word tackle, but unfortunately or fortunately, unfortunately in this situation, if you're landing on a double word score, you add a tip tackle with a little bit of a head slam, which to be honest wasn't much of a head slam anyway, and you are basically increasing your points to getting binned. So there's a little bit of that going on, but it is really upsetting the flow and the consistency of the game. We always talk about consistency, and there's no consistency, right? But I just feel that it's just really hard to kind of go from game to game in the same day and, within the same week, and similar things aren't adjudicated the same.
Absolutely. We've had some really good constructive statements been put out from the NRL referees boss, Jared Wood, during the week, and I feel like he's done a far better job of explaining shit than Graham Annesley has done, for the past couple of years. I'm like, this guy, he should take the top job because he's got a really good way of explaining things. But that consistency thing, Isaac, bro, what are you seeing? Say in terms of a Warriors context of the big C word.
In Warriors context, We've got the whole episode to talk about that. We've got years and years of archival footage that we could go back to, just in the podcast alone. Look, I think the consistency thing is you've got to look bigger than the Warriors, right? I mean, I watch a fair bit of footy. I don't lie. I mean, I love it. And then when you're watching games across the weekend and you're just seeing different calls by different refs, But then you've got the head ref, the boss of the refs, Graham Ansley, saying this. It's like, is it really getting through to the kids? Is the message really getting through to his pupils? I don't know. I don't know what they do. They all sit them down in one big class and then play some footage and go, is this a tip tackle? And then everyone, put your hand up if you think it's a tip tackle. Yes. You're wrong. It's not. I don't know how they do this. I don't know how they teach the refs what is and what isn't, But the ref, again, to Jared's point, the ref's pretty tough. It's a tough gig. It is a really tough gig. Yep. But we've tried to give them the tools to make their job easier in the bunker, and it just seems to have fucked everything up. Yep. We're no better than where we started. Yes. So maybe we need to go back to the drawing board and look at all the faults and come up with a better solution. We might as well, because it's not working. It's obvious that it's not working at the moment. We might as well look at other different options about the way we can officiate the game and make it a better product before we start tinkering too much and just ruin it.
One of my concerns with the bunker, though, is sometimes the head refs are getting overcalled. Sometimes they make mistakes, and I get that, and there's a ref challenge for that as well. I quite like that. But there was one with Klein on an Origin where, and as a Blues supporter, I supported the call. Dylan Edwards is deemed to be a surrender tackle, but he tries to play the ball fast, and then there's a little bit of body movement because the player is still on him and twisting him. Klein calls it a knock-on or an incorrect play the ball because he actually, because it was a surrender tackle and he surrendered himself, he can't get a quick play the ball. That makes sense. So
he doesn't have the right.
Doesn't the right, but the bunker overturned that because I don't think the bunker understood that he didn't have. He was in a surrender tackle as well. So I don't know. Maybe part of me thinks that NFL do that a little bit. I know it's there's 1,000 million things going on in NFL, but there is a little bit of a overcall by the head ref. They get to see the footage again and they make the final call. And I feel like the head ref is always going to should be the final say as well. And if we go back to when we loved the game, well, we loved the game, but when we didn't mind the officiating, maybe we're just younger, but you had the Bill Harrigans of the world, right, who just controlled the game, knew the context of the game, officiated it as he saw it there in live. Yeah, would have made a few mistakes, but had really good conviction of what he was doing, where I think sometimes the rest of the list, and then you throw the bunker element to it, and it's just fucking confusing, man. Look, we can't play the game without refs, so we all know that. It's just, and we're not bagging on, some people say blow out the bunker. I mean, we don't want the howlers anymore. You can't live with those, but there's got to be some refinement, some tweaks, maybe some kind of power back to the head ref to be like, I see this, I hear this, whatever, I'm going to make this call. And I think I think most people would appreciate if someone who's at the game live is making the call, not someone who's sitting in Sydney watching 5 TV screens.
And arguably the on-field ref can act as the bunker anyway. There's enough screens for them to have a look up and see what everybody else is seeing and make a call themselves on what's just happened, especially because they will have a feel of the game anyway. They might get some stuff wrong when they initially see it, but if they look up, see the screen, be like, oh, I fucked up there. Hey, sorry, guys. Actually, it's a blah, 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 blah. And I'd probably feel a little bit more confident about the on-field ref making a call, looking at a replay, because they have got the feel of the game and they know the ebb and the flow of it and what's sort of going on. They can feel the niggle instead of some guy in the bunker that's only looking at specific things. Guy or girl. It's specific things. So why can't they just do something like that? Like if you're going to go upstairs, the ref can go upstairs by looking at the screen.
A couple of decent suggestions there. Just while we're doing that, I'm going to throw in one as well. I think Buddha mentioned the word refinement before and the name Bill Harrigan. What about this for an idea? The bunker becomes Bill Harrigan sitting there distinguishedly drinking on a Bundaberg rum, whatever the sponsor is, kicking back going, yep, that's a try, or yes, no, whatever. I feel like that would be a bit more, maybe a bit more acceptable perhaps in this current setup, but we'll see.
I thought you were going to go the other way and say we should generate like an AI hologram Bill Harrigan, like a hologram Tupac or some shit like that, and be like, no, try.
The other thing too, not to kind of keep going on this because this is, a section that we don't really want to fucking pour too much energy into, but I know we're not moving a topic. But there was a try last night. Blaise Taulangi, I think it was Blaise Taulangi, scored. Didn't score, and the ball first touches the line, just short of the line, but just touches the line, and then momentum rock kind of the ball rolls because his arm doesn't come away from the ball, but he kind of rolls it through as he's sliding, and fuck it, like clear as day, you can see that at the line, like clear as day, and that's the thing you can't, when people are watching it and like, hold on, they touched the line, you're not calling that, so. I mean, that's probably comes down to, I don't know, I'm saying incompetence, but just like surely, if all fans can see it, Brandy was blowing up about it, like pundits are blowing up about it, they're seeing it. It's like, you've got to start with just getting those calls right.
Yeah. Yep, that's right. Especially the scoring ones are probably the critical ones, right? Like you gotta figure that out. But on some more more local issues in terms of the Warriors. Let's do a quick hard on our boys, because I don't know about you, but when I saw those fellas run out in those throwback jerseys, man, I thought, damn, those look nice. Those, to me, I think should be our away strip. What do you guys reckon? We'll start with you, Daniel.
Hard, 100%. Yeah, it gives me Homemade Dairy vibes as well, because the whole of the marketing's been sitting on bread crates and stuff like that, and it's 90s,
Origin jeans and shit.
There's Origin jeans. Playing Street Fighter 2, at the dairy, give seconds. No, I love it. Home strip, away strip, beautiful.
Sure, Coke, no backwash, hey.
No backwash.
GOD, no lips to you. No.
Isaac, very hard enough for you, man.
Hard, definitely hard. It's just a nostalgia thing, right? For me, it just brings back good memories and good feels. Yeah. I think everyone feels the same way. So keep it going, make it the away strip.
It just looked beautiful. And there was a couple of shots of, Te Maire Martin with the collar.
Oh, yeah, pop your collar.
Oh, everyone was getting excited, and, including some of our Warriors Anonymous members' wives were getting excited watching them play, which is good. Shout out to Joseph Maharaj. Shot, bro.
Steamy windows.
Thanks for the intel. Now, boys, what a bounce back. Last week we got done. We got well and truly. We got down trowed. We got double down trowed. We got the pants and the undies taken down. It wasn't pretty.
Did we get a wedgie? Yeah. Was it the wedgie down trowel combo?
We got a wedgie. Yeah, that's right. So Isaac, how important was it for the team, for the boys, the players, and the coaches to come back from that and make a statement?
Well, it wasn't going to get any worse than last week, right? Surely it wasn't going to get any worse. But yeah, this was a must-win. Every game's a must-win game from here, right? If we want to make the A, it just has to be. And we're going to be playing a few more pretty good teams in the road to come. They had to put this game away, and to their credit, they did. And they played a pretty quality game as well. I mean, the forwards laid the platform that arguably wasn't there last week. And they looked like they were putting their hands up. AFB had a huge, huge first half. And it was just awesome to see. And we said last week as well, the introduction of the Origin players would bring some steel to the forward pack. And that's exactly what they did. I mean, Barnett, he seems just to be getting better and better every week. And I think it was nice for Capel to start as well. I think he added something. But yeah, we just needed a game like that after the colossal fuck up that was the Titans game. It wasn't perfect, but we'll take it.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like that game was kind of different to what the other games have been this season, because otherwise you'd be like, oh, we should have been, pummeling them by more or whatever. For me, I was sitting there going, I'm just happy we just came out and just actually did something, which is nice, because we were getting a little bit downcast last week. I actually saw on the Alternative Commentary Collective, Di Henwood giving a real rousing sort of speech. I tell you what, it was getting very close to the dawn is darkest at dawn territory, because he mentioned the word dawn, and he was talking about that metaphor, and I was like, he's about to say it here. He didn't, but it's lucky, because we probably would have sued them. But if we were sort of to describe the Warriors game plan, like as a metaphor, right? It's almost like building up the perfect Chinese smorgasbord at the restaurant, where you're trying to get as many layers into your game as possible. And the first layer of the Warriors game is defense, bro. Like how much better was our defense against the Broncos than it was against the Titans the week before?
Yeah, defense was a hell of a lot better. I mean, there's still a lot of work-ons that are needed, but I think they built the game plan on the defense. The game plan against the Broncos, they knew that they had to defend. The Broncos had strike, and that did show up in the game. But most of the time up the middle, they did the damage to the Warriors with their defense as well. And they didn't really let them get tons of ruck speed, and they were able to cause a little bit of niggle with their playmakers like Ezra Mann. But yeah, I think defense was a massive part. It's just nice to see the Warriors defend that way. It is. They did let in a couple of tries, but it's just nice to see them putting in the hard yards where it matters. So yeah, can't defend much better than that. Especially on the back of a 66-6 game.
Yeah, that's right. All attitude. Attitude was important to really bring and just show what we could actually do properly. In the halves, Daniel, bro, you and I had a pretty handy halves combination back in primary school. And we caused defenses a lot of problems. And that was basically like watching Timade Martin and Chanel Harris-Tavita on Saturday.
Yeah, they were strong. Thought they complemented each other well. We obviously have the dynamic that I think Webby is going for. And we knew at the start of the season our first choice was Shawnee, and with Luke as well. So I think this week the combination works well. They foil well together. Chanel's got that a little bit of that running game, which we saw as well. And Tamari, taking the reins. I just think still there's things, naturally they're going to work on as well. And I don't want to sound like negative at all, because we're working what we've got. But look, fans are going all in on Tamari, and look, backing him 100%. But for me, if you have a fit Shawnee versus a fit Tamari, you just get so much more upside with Sean, right? But don't get me wrong, like that's not what we need now. We need someone who's going to get us around the park, and because our game is gone backwards, or our attack has gone backwards, or we just need to simplify our attack, Tamari's the man for us for now. My only concern is just we probably didn't maximize the position into points in the early part of the game as well. But look, you can't fault the guy. He's just stepping up for us as well. So, but yeah, and it's nice to see Chanel getting a good run. And
how good!
I think that default role of I guess being that utility guy means he presents value on the bench, right? When he's not starting at 6, but his defense is so good. He's a big body, right? And he can get his running game on. He'll go a long way for us as well. So, they're just building nicely.
Yeah, man. That try, the second try Chanel got, far out. That's just him to a T, right? That's just all hustle. He got there somehow, managed to just, get in a split second ahead of Tony Staggs to get the ball down. That was amazing. You couldn't even really see it to the naked eye. It was that quick. But like Isaac, I think I feel like we actually had a few sort of fresh ideas this weekend against the Broncos. We looked like we were trying different things. We were kicking to different spots. We were giving the ball a bit of air, even right, deep in our own territory, bro. How did you see our game plan overall, and just how we, went about things?
Did someone say double round? Is that what you just said?
Oh.
Did we just see the return of the double round? Is that going to be making its way back into modern day rugby?
Hey, What have I been saying all year, boys?
The most lethal weapon in the game is the double round.
That's right. And I was, you know, it was almost a tear in my eye as I was talking to the wife Lolo about it. I was like, we just took two of our least athletic and dynamic players on the field, and they just sliced the defense using a double round. I'm like, it works, guys. It works.
It works. Yeah, I don't know if it was part of the game plan, but it worked. It should be part of the game plan. Hey, maybe it was. I think if you didn't get a chance to see the after-match interview with CHT and Tamari, Tamari did say that they've been given a little bit of free rein to play heads-up footy and move. He even said himself they need to move away from the whole robotic style, which I feel was last year probably worked for us really well when we weren't surprised, when we were surprising teams. Now that we're not surprising teams anymore, we've got to play heads up. And I think most of the top teams in this league have that ability. That's what separates them from the rest is their ability to play heads up footy. And arguably, Tim Murray's probably the guy to do it. I think maybe at the moment, SJ has been so stuck in that robotic way because it's worked from the past. But I mean, to Buddha's point, in terms of upside, if SJ was told to play heads-up footy, I reckon he'd just be unstoppable. But yeah, I like that idea of the game plan being just play what's in front of you. Arguably, CHT as well is the perfect person to have in that sort of situation because he is a heads-up hustle type player in the 6 jersey. I like that style better. I mean, you've got players that fit that mold of heads-up footy. Dylan Walker as well. He just plays what's in front of him, you know? And then other players can just do their jobs like your Barnetts, like your AFBs. Then it gives other players time to play heads-up footy, which I love to see.
Do you reckon that Freddie and Mitchie Barnett dance as well as they ball play?
Oh, Mana Wave? It's pretty good Mana Wave as well.
Mana Wave,
yeah, but you know, we just say at least kind of athletic or how would you say at least creative players. They put on a nice little show. Couple of little Dolph Lundgrens going to the line.
To dance with the stars. I like it. I think that's probably an aspect other defenses will probably be a little bit worried about now, more than they would have been beforehand, because before they kind of had a clear plan on what we were going to do. So they figured, all right, we can just do this, jam up, we'll be sweet. That's kind of how it's been going for most of the season. Now we've changed lanes, and all of a sudden they're not going to know exactly what's going to be coming at them from us. So all of a sudden we can maybe sneak up on people, and they're going to have to defend their double round somehow. Good luck with that, guys.
Unstoppable.
A few things. There was a few late changes before the game kicked off. Mitch Barnett, originally named on the edge, moved into the middle. Kurt Capewell was on the bench, and he got promoted up to a starting edge role. Tohu Harris got put back to the bench, and it's basically a straight spot with Dylan Walker. So, Daniel, what are your thoughts on this? Could this potentially be our ideal starting lineup for the next block of games, potentially?
I think it has to be, really. When you think about it, I think love Jacko, but I think that presence in the middle is needed, and Mitchie brings that presence in the middle. I mean, Adden's Adden, right? So, you know, he's just going to go forward all day. But I think when Mitchie comes into his own is that he, you know, tackle 1, tackle 2 after the kick, he really drives that as well. So you kind of want your best players out there. I know we had a bit of a conversation around, you know, is the heart in it, and you know, we want players who want to play for the jersey, but you know they're over that blip, not completely over the blip, but you know, they're over that Titans thing. You got to have your best players out there as well. So the fact that you can put Marata and Kurt Capewell, and look, I'll give him credit. I think Webby said he had his best game for us as well, and he was good. And like, he didn't do anything wrong in Origin. I mean, he's probably getting a bit of backlash, perhaps not for him, but the selection of him. And I guess there's talk about David Fafita coming in as some X factor, but you know, he played well, so I like that. And also the big talking point, really, or is it a talking point now? Is Dylan Walker starting? And I think, yeah, as hard as it is for me to say this because of the service of the man who's just carried this team, and he has all the bruises and the strapping tape to show that he carried the team for many, many, many years. But perhaps maybe to get the best out of Tohu is to, limit Tohu's minutes. Because, Dylan was great and fantastic and brings that leg speed as well. I still love Tohu's ball playability. I thought he's just a bit cleaner, a bit crisper, playing guys under and distributing as well. But I do feel that Dylan brings a little bit more when it comes to that ball, the speed onto the ball, and a little bit energy in those carries, which I needed.
Also makes a lot of sense. If we are going to play a bit more, eyes up 40 in the halves, then the guy linking with them suits them a little bit better, probably, Dylan Walker, in terms of how he attacks and how he approaches things, but more a bit less, less of a system sort of guy, but he's a bit more dangerous, shall we say. Speaking of danger, Isaac, the one and only Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, he started to exert a bit more influence from the centre spot, which is very encouraging for a lot of people. I know there's still a lot of people saying, he should be playing other positions, but what did you think of Rog in that right centre spot against the Broncos?
I love that little grubber kick in behind the line for him in particular. I mean, with your best attacking players, you've got to get them as much ball as possible. The likes of your David Fafidas and whatnot. They just need as many touches as they can. They might not break it every single time, but at some point in time, they will break it. And I think maybe that's what's happening with RTS. I'd still love to see him hunt for the ball a bit more himself, a la Joey Manu styles, where he's just wanting the ball every single play. I think RTS can do that. He's got the motor. He's got the skill set to do it. And arguably the heads-up footy will suit him as well. Because, if they give him free rein to roam around and just be next to the ball and hunt for opportunities, more often than not, he'll get one. He'll get an offload, or, he'll just get the ball in the right place at the right time and be able to use his talent to beat players. So
I feel he's kind of like a guy. For me, it's like someone you get a lovely brand new pair of shoes, right? You love them. They're so nice. They're awesome. And you wear them like probably for 2 hours on a Sunday, and then you put them back in the box and they look good. And then, you just don't use them enough. And next thing you know, you're going to grow out of them. They just haven't found a way to bring him in more. Like, apart from that little grubber kick through and he scored that try and he had one little run, he was pretty much taking like a second carry run and the odd dummy half run. And I was just thinking, no, there's no slight on Roger. It's just like we haven't found a way to unlock him as well. Arguably at the moment one of your best talented football players, and
that's why I keep going on about
the Blues just won Super Rugby last week, and he's looking over there going, "Oh fuck!
Oh, what I leave."
He's league. Like we all love him as well, but there is. Yeah, you're saying like, where is it? Does he go to the wing?
That's why I harp on about the whole Joey Manu thing. I just think his skill set is just like for like with a Joey Manu type player, and Joey Manu will crab across the field, and people will just follow him because they know he's going to make something out of nothing. And RTS can do that, but he can't make something out of just doing a second head up from a long kick, second or third head up. It's just the line set. But if he was to run 50 meters across the field, I wouldn't mind if he can poke his head through the hole, And Joey Manu does that. He'll go back and forth across the field, side to side, but he'll eventually find a way through.
The only difference with Joey is that he does have an offload out of nowhere. Well, not out of nowhere. You know it's coming. You know where it's going to go. You can't stop it. Roger doesn't quite have that same ability to throw those kind of over around the back, Sonny Bill kind of crazy offloads, which maybe limits that. But yeah, I think we just haven't put him in a position, or there's not a license for him to do that. I'd love to see him. Like, I really would love to see him getting off the back of like Marata goes hard, right? And he busts the line. Wade looks to go and run. I just love Wade to get up and do those kind of run left and go right passes, and it's spotting that. And you could probably program that a little bit, I think. I know we don't want to get too structured, but Marata generally is gonna find his front and he's gonna burst the line. I think it's kind of, and maybe it's like the Tamaiti and the Sean situation with him and Chance. Like, oh hey bro, you go. Oh no, you go. Oh no, you go. You go. I'll just take this one. Maybe there's a little bit of, because Chance likes to get going like that too, as well. Look, I mean, I love Chance, right? But I think Roger's probably got a little bit more ability off that Wade kind of little hustle break to kind of make that a line break as well. Yep. Obviously Luke did that when he was, when he was fit, he was finding that opportunity. So yeah, I don't know what it is. It's it's like, again, you get all your best toys and you can't play with them all at the same time, do you? But you got to find ways to play with the best one that you spend fucking heaps of money on.
That's a good point about the not trying to step on any toes, because that's Roger, right? He's not trying to bloody cut in front of anyone or anything like that. I think there's a real merit to an idea of maybe like an Egan out of dummy half, and out on his left he's got Chance, and then bang, on the other side is Roger, and
Did you notice with Egan? Look, love Wado, obviously Wayne, love him, but I think he tried to overplay a little bit because he was having a lot of success early in the season with that kind of off the quick play, the ball getting through, and the prestige into the backfield. But he hasn't quite been able to do that in the last couple of games. But he pushed a couple. I pushed one in particular, right? And I think it was more out of frustration that, hey, fucking a month ago, I was almost named in Origin because I was fucking busting defenses apart, and then he just kind of wasn't poking through, and then he tried to throw a miracle ball, which look, I'm all for. I love the offload part as well, and I think if we're going to play eyes up footy, second phase footy as well, but at the same time, it's like you got to play. You got to realize when you're not going to be able to bust a line and keep the ball, rather than the old school go back 20 years Warriors offloads that used to go nowhere.
Yeah.
Heritage round.
He's timing his form, bro. We're getting close to another year nearer to his Kiwi residency setting in, and
yes,
black and white. Here we go, son. Here we go. Isaac, bro, we've got a big game coming up next week against the Bulldogs. What's the keys heading into that game, because they're doing pretty well?
Yeah, are they top four yet? Or they're just sitting in the top four now? Yeah. The funny thing I heard about them was their defensive systems. It's just the whole bend, don't break type scenario. They don't care about missed tackles. They just want to hustle and just prevent line breaks and prevent those sorts of scoring opportunities off the back of line breaks. They don't mind missing tackles. So I think if the Warriors are going to beat them, if they're going to play with that mindset in defense, then we have to take advantage of every sort of little half break that we get against them. They are playing really well. They're playing as a team. And out of the Panthers system, Seraldo, we bagged Seraldo last year saying that we got the better of the Penrith assistants. Maybe the Legends starting to get bounced up a little bit here. No knock on Webster. He's still doing a great job. But it's going to be an interesting battle. I think we'll have the edges probably in the forwards. But they've got a pretty tough forward pack themselves, like pretty no-nonsense type forward pack. And they've got some strike in that back line as well. So we're going to have to be pretty careful. They're a pretty mercurial team, if you know what I mean. The way they play, they could do anything on the day.
Yeah, it's definitely I think this could be quite an exciting clash. Isn't the NRL quite a funny competition? Like last week we lose 66-6. Oh, season's gone. This week we get a win. We're 1 point out of the top 8. It's like far out.
How'd that happen?
We're not only just 1 point out of the top 8. The biggest fucking bugbear I got is, we're actually 1 point if you take away the fucking buys behind the Dogs. They've had 2 buys, we've had 1 buy. So it's so artificial. It's just, I need all the coaches don't even count buys and they do other shit, but it's like, I'm just getting so sick of seeing that. Like, Raiders are ahead of us, but they've had 2 buys. It's like, no, we've had 1. It's just,
Yeah.
what the fuck is the point of 2-point buys? Is
Yeah.
it because you could go through the season and just have 6 points? Is it the Tigers effect?
Yeah.
Start
The
everyone on
Tigers
6.
policy?
Start everyone on 6 instead of this late, reveal sort of stuff that's going on. the artificial buy.
Anyway.
But bro, what are you thinking in terms of personnel? Are you thinking any tweaks or changes this week up against the Bulldogs?
I don't think so. I don't think there's any injuries. Don't think so. Yeah, look, I think the calls are going a bit louder, and we love him. He's one of our faves as well. But look, if we had a bunch of our outside backs come back into contention, they're not, right? Rocco's out for a while. But there are some calls around whether Monty commands that wing spot as well. Maybe just the nature of wing plays changing a little bit, right? And we talked about this as well, going for that faster, smaller, elusive guy as well.
The Isaac Sauce.
Because there's a way you can, still get meters, but not necessarily be as bash and crash as well. So, but I think they'll stick with what they've got. It gets some consistency there's an opportunity just to kind of try field the same team again, and you build that consistency, right? Like, because we go back to the Nathan Brownie era, like fucking who's playing, who's not playing, what the fuck is going on?
High numbers, double word score,
yeah,
double number score.
I've got a funny feeling, and it's the way the maybe this is a Nostradamus thing, but the way the league's going at the moment, like, so the Dogs get the job done in the weekend. They're Golden Point, weren't they? Golden Point over the Sharks. Yeah. They expend a lot of energy. They've had a good little run. They're starting to smell their shit. It smells pretty good. Everyone's talking them up. And what are they ready for? Slap back to reality, right? Like, it just seems to happen for the middling teams, eh? Like, you get a little run, you think you think you're hot shit, and then you get tipped up. So there's a potential ambush on the horizon. I mean, for us it's not ambush because we back our guys all the time, but I think for the league context, and this is maybe where the fallacy of the buy points comes in. People think we're further away than we are, so we're kind of a little bit covert. Now I love the buy.
The fallacy of the buy.
A massive 180 in the space of 2.5 minutes.
Yeah.
He's gone from fuck the buy to actually I like the buy now. Okay.
But I just think the Dogs are a team where, like us, we were last year, you're travelling on really well, heading down to Belmore, everyone's fucking loving you, all the rest. And then, and this is the league, man. I mean, this is the most competitive season, apart from the Melbourne Storms, just kind of, I still don't think the Storm are that great. Honestly, I don't think they're great, but they give you 8 out of 10 every week, right? But their 8 out of 10 is not as good as, like a Panthers 8 out of 10. But the Panthers have only been giving like 8s, 9s. And they threw up a bloody 4 to us, like. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is it's such a, this league is so competitive. So you're 5-10% off. Like, I know we talked about this before, but you're a little bit off. And you get fucking schooled by the Titans, right? Man, the Titans own us. Fuck.
I know. Of all the teams to own us, it's got to be fucking them.
Owned by the Titans.
Yeah. That's what hurts
the
most.
It does. It does hit.
So does it mean we own the Dogs? Yes. Let's own the Dogs.
So, yeah, that'd be nice. It'd definitely help our cause, that's for sure. It'll hurt a lot less than a double down trail wedgie down trail combo.
T-shirt been raised.
T-shirt pulled up over your head. We've covered some pretty good ground, some questionable stuff as well, to be fair. But thanks very much for joining us. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Warriors Anonymous. Check us out across YouTube and however you want to get your podcast stuff. We've got some more stuff coming as well during the week. Teams Day, another important one on Tuesday. Starting to look forward to those Tuesday team namings because it's becoming a real thing in itself. We've got some new ammo as well to throw into the next edition of that, so that'll be fun. But just keep it locked on Warriors Anonymous for next gen highlights as well. We've got you covered. Whatever you want, anything Warriors, we're around it. We're about it, and we're hanging in there for all the bandwagoners to come back as well if they want. That's all right. That's all right, guys. It's comfy over here. This has been Warriors Anonymous. My name is Jared Cronin. On behalf of Isaac Sauce, Daniel Wharakura, and MIA Monita Sauce, who was on report. It was HIA, sorry. HIA on report.
Yeah.
Two different things. Anyways, we'll catch you next time. Up the wires. Go, the Warrior.
La cucaracha, ya no puede caminar.